Reproductive system plaque, and number 1 up here is the ovary. Number 2 is the uterine duct or the oviduct or the fallopian tube. So all of those names are fine. Those are all the same. And the very distal end, these finger-like structures are called fimbriae, and they move to kind of suck the egg in. The uterus is right here. The easiest way to find it is because it sits right on top of the bladder. So this whole thing is the uterus. And the body of the uterus, what are they calling that? They're not really giving it a specific anything. But the cervix is down here at the end, and cervix means constricted area, just like the neck is the cervical region. So this is where it gets constricted. Anything beyond that, this is the vagina. But this is all the uterus. So this is the cervix or the cervical region. Sometimes they call this the cervical canal. And the isthmus of the cervix or of the uterus. And then 5, they're going back to just uterus here. Number 8, at the very top of the uterus, it kind of bubbles up like the stomach did. And so that's called the fundus, this bubbly top part. And here's one of the fallopian tubes or the uterine tubes. 29 here is the round ligament, which is going to hold the uterus against the anterior wall. Holds the uterus in place. A lot of this, all of the rest of this, is broad ligament. So it's a really broad, flat sheet that holds pretty much everything in place. It not only holds the uterus, but it also holds onto the ovary, kind of keeps the fallopian tubes in place, kind of sticks everything there. All right, what else do we need to see on here? The vagina is the opening to the outside world. This area, this part of the vagina that sticks up and is on the sides of the cervix, this is called the fornix, and that's where the term fornicate came from, the same root word. This is the opening. The inside lining of the uterus is the endometrium. The majority of the uterus is muscle, and so this would be myometrium. And the outer layer of the uterus is going to be the perimetrium. Vaginal orifice is there. Okay, this area, the female reproductive area that opens up to the outside world, this is called the vulva altogether. And the skin, the large skin flaps that are covered by hair, are called the labia majora because they're bigger. And then inside that there's another set of flaps that are covered more with mucous membrane. Definitely with skin, but more with mucus and less hair. So this is the labia minora. This structure is the clitoris, which is the equivalent of the glans penis. So crazy sensitive. Here's the bladder, and here's the urethral opening and urethral orifice for the female. So the female has 3 different holes: the anal opening or orifice, the vaginal orifice, and the urethra or urinary orifice. What else? Okay, so this is the bladder, or not the bladder, the large intestine. And this would be the rectum. It's going straight. And then this is probably the sigmoid. It's kind of twisty to get it back. But this is all large intestine. And it's really hard to kind of tell which part is which. This region here is that recto-uterine pouch or recto-uterine area. It's also called Douglas pouch of Douglas. And if you have anything that spills out in the abdominal cavity, this is often where it ends up because it's kind of the lowest point. Pubic symphysis. Now here's the egg. This is the oocyte, and we have to assume that this has already been ovulated, and so that would be a secondary oocyte. This green line is the zona pellucida. The space on the inside of that, outside of the oocyte, is called the antrum. And then the row of cells, one row thick, just outside the zona pellucida, is the corona radiata, where it radiates out like a crown all the way around. And then this cloud is called the cumulus ooperus. What do they have for 16? Corona radiata. Okay, zona pellucida. And then for 20, they've got cumulus ooperus. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I think that's it.
Awesome.